So I'm working on my Death Guard army. Right now I have some 3D prints. I have a gap right here between the plasma rifle and his arm, so I need to fill it. I decided to use some green stuff. I'm familiar with it. So I just mix some up, used a sculpting tool to fill in the gap pretty much, and then I smoothed around the edges. And tried to get close to the body between the arm and the belly there. A little difficult, but I think I got it eventually. And then I have Typhus for my army. I decided to snip off the tactical rock, and I wanted to place a guardsman underneath of him. So I found a good print. The print is actually of a guardsman who's running. I printed him, I just laid him down. It seemed to work pretty well. But just kind of testing out how it's going to look, make sure it works well. For the guardsman laying down, I used green stuff first, shaped it out and then glued it on, and I kind of wanted to press him into it so it made an indent. That way he could kind of sit on it, sort of. It's a lot of testing. So that when you push him into the green stuff, it's going to leave indents from where his body is. It'll leave like a little bed where his body was. He could fit right into. And I just apply some super glue. So it looks good, I think. Fits well. It's much better than a tactical rock. But I do need to fill in some of the sides there just to make it look a little more organic. So my bases on my army are going to be Mars desert-y kind of look. So some cracked earth, really orangey red. So I don't want it to be too huge as far as building up the sides of the ground there. But I think for Typhus specifically, it's okay to have a little bigger of a base going on. So I glued him on. Oh, this accelerant stuff. I just find it so much easier just to take the cap off and use the tip like this, just to dip it. Instead of spraying it or put it in a different cup or whatever else I've seen people do. So I decided to use some aquarium rocks. You buy a bag of this stuff, you have it for life, so it's a good purchase. kind of build up the sides. Like the rocks have a nice variety. I decided to go with milliput because I've never used it before. I actually got it to do some miniature sculpting. But I thought it would be easier to apply to these rocks. There's green stuff kind of, it's almost elasticy. You can't blend it into itself very well. And then this stuff is pretty easy to sand too if I need to, and it takes texture pretty good. So mostly I just wanted to use it. I haven't used it before. So yeah, I basically mixed some up and smushed it into the rocks on the side to kind of smooth out that transition from the rocks to the actual base. Not the best camera angle. So these silicone tools this is actually my first time using them. They're pretty cool. I'm excited to do some other stuff with them as far as sculpting goes. Very nice to detail out what's going on with this sculptum milliput. They're a little less, maybe it's the kind I bought, but they're pretty soft. I expected it to be a little bit harder, not as pliable or flexible as it is, but maybe that's just kind of the kind I bought. I'm not sure if there's different gradings of the silicone on the tip or not. You might notice Typhus's face. So I've had my Death Guard army for probably 5-6 years, and I've had him for a while. Well, in that time, they went through a move, and I did end up losing his face. So at one point, I did a green stuffed his face. So his face is made out of green stuff, at least the bottom half of it, where the gas mask part is. So if you catch that in there, that's why his face is green. He's really trying to smooth out the transition here and flatten out the rock bed that the guardsman is laying on. Then after doing this, I think it definitely was the right choice to use milliput, because doing this with green stuff would have been such a pain in the butt. I don't think I used any, or if I did much lubricant to shape this stuff. It didn't stick to my tool like green stuff did, so that was pretty nice. I'm definitely a fan. This print that I got for this guardsman, I can't remember who it was, but it's on Thingiverse. It's free. It's not supported or anything, so. And I used a Anycubic mono printer with just some sky something gray resin. I believe it was on sale, so I bought quite a bit of it. I'm just trying to smooth out this edge here. Less sanding I'll have to do later. Just do some final touches before I move on to the other side there. It looks good. So, I started with terrain building for D&D. So, of course, I grabbed my trusty tinfoil ball to get that rocky texture, and it worked good. A little big, but it worked good overall. It'd be nice to build out like a little tool in Blender with that kind of texture on it and print it out. Make it way easier to do that kind of stuff. It looks pretty cool. It's crazy how long it takes for it to get even going in the hobby. Like I said, I had this army for probably 5.5, 6 years, 5 years, 6 years. The most I've gotten on anything is a base coat or a primer coat. And there's the finished product. Typhus on the Guardsman. Ready for base coat. And if you liked, subscribe, like the video, share it. If you want to follow along, see how long it takes me. Hopefully we'll have it all done by the start of the year. See ya.